Hello and welcome to Rust Sweating ADOs. As you can see, it's still freezing in the unit today, but we're going to battle on and we're going to see what we can do. I've managed to get a day off my normal job, so I'm going to spend the day trying to get some of the bits and pieces sorted on the Reliant Robin. Of course, that's where I am at the moment. It's looking a lot cleaner than it did, but there's still plenty to do. I wanted to start with the back end around here because there's a lot of work I need to do on the brakes. I've got quite a few parts over on the Mini that I will show you. So we've got some parts to fit today. I've got the new flasher units. There's the hazard, and that's the normal indicator. I've also got a fan belt. I've got the back of the ignition switch, which will hopefully get me to the point where I can start the car. And I've managed to source the correct brake pipes. These were not actually that hard to find. They turn out to be front brake pipes off a Land Rover Series 3. I bought the rears before thinking they were the ones that fitted, but actually it's the front ones that fit. So just for reference, they are a little bit shorter than the Land Rover ones, but I think they're going to be long enough for what I need them to be. We'll find out in a bit, but they're probably about an inch shorter than the ones that I bought previously, but I don't have the originals to line them up to, so we're going to fit them and see how they look. So this is the pipe that I need to replace on the back. As you can see, the metal bracket here is broken, so the pipe's flopping around. My intention is to make a new metal bracket once I've taken this one out of the way, and I'll weld it onto that bracket where it's supposed to. All I need to do is to undo the bolt here. Obviously this has all been off before, so it's a lot easier than it would normally be. So now the brake pipe's out the way, I'm just going to nip the rest of this bracket off here, so it gives me something to weld the new bracket to. So now I've got a nice flat surface, I'll make a bracket. So I appreciate it's not a Project Binky style bracket, but what it is a bracket that moves moves it out the way. So my next job is going to be freeing up the ends on this pipe because they're currently seized, and then refitting it all back together. So there we have it. Brake pipe attached that end, new bracket welded in there, through there. It's not too tight. I'm calling that job done. So while I'm down this end of the car, My intention is to connect these two bits of fuel pipe together with a fuel filter in the middle, and hopefully then we won't have any more fuel leaks. So all I've got is a fuel filter. That'll obviously sit in there, so I'll cut this to size and then cut a pipe for the other end and a couple of Jubilee clips. So that fits there, goes around there, up to there. So if I cut this off, so cold today, I don't know how people work outside. Although I do, really. I used to do it a couple of years ago, and ever since getting the unit, it's just been so much nicer. Still pretty damn cold though, but at least I've got the heaters on now. There we go. So all I'll do now is tie wrap that up out of the way so that it's not catching on anything or risking damage. So there you have it. New brake pipe, new fuel pipe. So we're round at the front of the car, and same principle again. We've got a pipe that goes into the wheel cylinder here. It goes onto this bracket, which is just out of camera view up here. And then it actually goes through this hole in the bulkhead out here. Now the problem I've got is the brake pipe goes through this bracket, which mounts on the other side of this fiberglass through there. Now the reason that's a problem is this mounts to the radiator, and I wasn't planning on fitting the radiator just yet because I've got to do the alternator still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this end of the pipe and rubber pipe to here. The metal pipe is up the back of here still, so that's fine. And then what I'll do is I'll connect the two together once we put the radiator in. So I'm going to start the brakes, go onto the alternator, and then come back to the brakes. Sure that. I now join you from the editing room because I suddenly realised for the entire next part of the film, I don't actually say anything. which is very unusual because silencing me for an hour at a time is pretty rare, to be honest. So what you're going to see in the next 5 or 6 minutes or so of footage is me fighting with the radiator. I guess I probably was swearing a lot, but within my head and not actually saying it. It turns out my idea to put the brackets on the radiator and then put the radiator in the car was complete rubbish. It was never going to fit. So I did attempt this briefly in the first part of the footage, and then proceeded to remove the brackets, put them onto the bodywork where they belong, and then put them onto the radiator. So once I completed that task, I then moved on to sorting the carburetor out. So I removed it briefly earlier when I did the manifold. I also took the cap and piston out at the top. It's a simple HS2 carb, so there's just a piston that goes up and down in the top part of the carb, which activates on the needle to pull more fuel into the car. For some strange reason, the one on my car sticks really badly. So what I did is I just swapped it out for one out of a different carburetor, which got over that issue, really. So I refit the carburetor, I then fitted the choke cable, and then in the final part of the video you get to see me attempt to start it. So I'm going to leave the voice over here and enjoy the next few minutes of footage, and then catch me at the end. So, as you saw, we failed to get it running again. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with it actually. We got it to run really quickly last time, so I don't know what's changed. Something must have changed somewhere. I'm a little bit annoyed that the switchback that I bought from AMG doesn't fit. I don't suspect it's their fault, I suspect it's just my column may have been swapped in the past for a different one. But anyway, so the back of the switch doesn't fit, so I need to work out another solution. Also got an interesting problem that as soon as you connect the battery, the ignition light comes on, which is not right. And also I don't think I'm getting any fuel through. So I just come underneath the car quickly, just to have a look to see what was in the fuel filter. So as you can see, the fuel filter is full. So there must be fuel getting to the pump and to the engine. So I'm not entirely sure why fire seems to be spinning over okay. So yeah, another mystery, but unfortunately that is everything for today, I'm afraid. So with that note, I'd like to say thank you for watching my channel. Obviously please like and please do subscribe. I'm doing quite well, I'd say, but I'd like to get a few more subscribers over the next few months, just to continue to grow the channel. But yeah, any comments, feedback or questions, then do feel free to pop them in the comments. I do respond to them all, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.